So we looked at 2012 Craven Breeze Up, and I was thinking that was the first one I remember going to, but actually, now I'm thinking a bit deeper, and it's a bit later in the day. I did actually stack the 2009 was the Goss Doncaster Breeze Up. I actually bought a couple of horses from there. I remember there one of them actually ran through the rail, and I thought, oh, this could be a fast horse, and it wasn't. But we bought another horse that year called Nove SJ, which I named after Sarah Jane, and that won on debut at Ripon, actually beating a filly called Pepper Lane, who was quite good, and then kind of got to the low 70s and didn't go any higher than that really. But anyway, moving on. So now I've got the 2014 catalogue in front of me. I've got the times. So things have improved a little bit this year. So I've got times, I've got breeze order, I've got my notes as they ran past, and I've got my final list. And what I want to do now is have a look at my final list and compare and look back at it and see how they got on. So we should have the final list being shown now on screen. I'm going to look at the Fillies list, which is on the left hand side, and it's pretty much in number order. We'll start with the Fillies and we'll have a look at the colts. So first of all, we've got lot 17. So what I've done now is I've gone to Racing Post website, I've gone to the bloodstock section, sales within that, and then changed the year to 2014 and found the Craven Breeze Up. It lists every horse. They're now obviously named, but obviously at the time they weren't named, and we can look back and see how they got on. So the first horse on my list was lot 17. So it's a Rocket Gibraltar filly called Our Time Will Come, sold by Meadowview Stables, bought by Richard Knight, who worked with Sean Quinn back then. I think he still does actually. And looking back, that filly won twice and has achieved a rating of 67. So 52,000, that was probably one to avoid. We'll keep going on. Lot 59 is the next one. So lot 59 is a filly called New Providence. Now I know this filly well, and I didn't realise this was on my list and should have been. Again, interestingly, sold by Malcolm Bastard. I've mentioned in the first sound file that Malcolm Bastard's horses never seem to breeze particularly quick on the clock. This filly, I'm pretty certain, once Racing Post website decides to work, turned into a very good filly. Yeah, so we've got New Providence, 8-year-old now, by Bohemian Bounty, won 4 times, achieved a Racing Post rating of 110. And at the time, this filly was 30,000 vendor. So now I'm intrigued to find out why I didn't buy this filly. I'm obviously going back 6 years. There might not be enough money in the pocket for that. So I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so it had a questionable hind leg, shade dishy in front, so it means it circles its front legs. I've actually got comments from a trainer that say it's cheap option, no star. Well, that was wrong. It was a little bit lighter bone. It was sweet and not the biggest. Light pedigree. But a pedigree that's gone on to obviously work at a filly that's done great things on the track. I've actually got written in the corner 2-year-old. So I'm just, for me, own interest, I'm going to click on New Providence, just to remind myself when it was a good horse. I remember it being a stakes filly, but I can't remember if it was 2 or later in its career. I remember Hugo Palmer training it. Okay, so let's have a look. So it won on debut, won in June of 2014, so it won 2 months after the Breeze Ups. It then went to Doncaster, won a handicap, finished 3rd in the Good Newmarket Fillies handicap, which I always try and target myself, 2nd in the York Goss race, won a Group 3 at Salisbury, and was the 3rd behind Lucida in what looks to be the Cheveley Park, but I'm just going to check. No, the Rockfell, 3rd in the Rockfell behind Lucida. Okay, so that is obviously one that's got away. Now, if we look at the times for that filly, lot 59, now it doesn't always work out that the times translate to ability. The time is literally a guide, it's part of the puzzle. So I'm looking for lot 59. Malcolm Bastard's horses never seem to clock fast. So if he's got a fast one that's bred to be fast, it may not fly on the day, and I found it, and it's actually on the bottom of the second page. It's around about 80th fastest of 120. 120, 110, something like that. So that's a filly that we could have potentially bought for £30,000 that now would be worth a lot of money. A lot of stakes winning filly that's actually sister to another stakes horse. So that is one that's got away. But we'll move on because there's always going to be ones that get away. We'll always remember the ones that turn out to do well. So next filly we've got is lot 62, which Exceeding Excel filly, which is bought by Premier Racing, and see in brackets says Singapore. So that tells me the fact that it's unnamed over here, it means it's probably gone to Singapore. It's raced in Singapore, and yeah, it's basically had its career over there. So we'll move on. Lot 65, Blue Aegean, Invincible Spirit filly, bought by Richard O'Gorman Bloodstock, who at that time was buying for Godolphin. 210,000. So if it's on Godolphin's list, it's obviously no point being on my list. Okay, good filly, Invincible Spirit, rated 102. Lot 65. So this time it was consigned by Gabriel Lodge Stud, and I can see on the clock 65 was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7th fastest overall in a time of 21.74 for the 2 furlongs. So on that point, the clock actually did tell the tale. Moving forward, lot 79 was the next one on the list. This is a filly called Camdora. Arcano filly sold by Kilminfoyle House. Michael Fitzpatrick, serious judge of a horse. Excels in what he does. Sold for 120,000. I bet he gave a lot less than that when he bought it. Out of Sadler's Wells mare. So Camdora, 8-year-old now. Best RPR is 67. So whereas we found 2 stakes fillies beforehand, we've now found a filly who's proved to be moderate on the track. So we'll keep going down. Lot 99. This is a Galileo filly. Right, I remember this one vividly. This filly was a Galileo filly that had a very good pedigree, and we'll put that on the screen now. So she is a sister to Frozen Fire and a sister to Sir Walter Scott. 2 horses, good, if memory serves, Coolmore owned, that turned out to be very good on the racetrack. And Galliano achieved a racing post rating of 71. Was a Galileo winning filly, sister to a horse that won the Irish Derby. Now I remember having a conversation with the trainer on the day, thinking this one's buying at 200,000, and we kind of thought pedigree wise yes, but on what we'd seen on in the breeze, we thought no. My nuts read long in front, very good looking horse. Its off hind leg isn't perfect, and it's a little bit light of bone. So now I've clicked on the filly, and I'm not particularly interested in its race results, because we know that it's achieved a race best weight of 71. I'm looking to find out, has it had any success at stud? It raced in 2015, so it's probably covered in 16, foaled in 17, yearling in 18, 2-year-old in 19, first 2-year-old in 19, and then it's the year after that would have had another 2-year-old, but nothing's coming up, so maybe something amiss has happened there. Anyway, we'll move on, but that was a filly that I remember wanting to buy, not particularly because of the breeze, but because of its value after the breeze. So we'll keep going, and the next one on the list is lot 101 down at the bottom. Just waiting for Racing Post to put a penny in the machine. Okay, lot 101. Now this is a filly I did buy. This is a filly called Elusive Epona, signed for Midland Park Racing, which I was buying the horses for at that point. It was an elusive quality filly. We gave 32,000. So if you think about the prices that we've had so far, you can kind of see why I bought this filly. I remember this filly. I remember Richard Fry telling me that it would win on debut, and it duly did. We then had a problem with it. I can't remember what the problem was, but she was a very talented filly. She was a filly that we thought would do very well. Yeah, won on debut, and then when it ran as a 3-year-old, obviously the problem continued. So that was filly I did buy. She was lot 101. When I look at the times, in terms of time, she's about 25th, 22.28, about half a second faster than the Invincible Spirit filly we looked at earlier on. So we'll move on, and the next one is lot 142. My Mistress, sold by Tallyhole Stud to Minster Stud, 14,000. Okay, I'm beginning to wonder why I didn't purchase this filly. 142, Master Craftsman. So I'm looking at the timesheet. She doesn't appear on the first page, but being by Master Craftsman, you wouldn't imagine it too. She was 14,000. Right, found it. So she won twice, achieved a risk plus rating of 77 over 2 miles, which would add up based on that pedigree out of King's Theatre mare. So yeah, I probably swerved her based on the fact she'd take a bit too long in time to get to the track. But you know, she still managed to win. Moving on, lot 144, we've got Bonfire Heart, an Exceeding Sell filly, sold by Conmanan, Bunchy House to Bobby O'Ryan, 200,000. 144, we'll have a good look at the clock. Let's see if she appeared on the clock figures. She's not on the first page as far as I can see. Nope, let's have a look at the second page. Doesn't appear on the second page, so this could be a filly who, yeah, she's one of the fillies that we didn't have the times for whatever reason. Can't seem to remember. But she made our list, 200,000, so she obviously made a few people's lists. Okay, so how did she get on? Race post rated 67, 6 furlongs, 1 win. So, yeah, that's one we're happy to dodge on that occasion. Moving on, 160. Another Exceeding Sell filly, this time by Pam Sly, called Roxy Lot, sold by John Cullinan's Horse Park Stud, £40,000. Okay, Roxy Lot, race post rating 71, no star, won twice in a long racing career. We'll move on. And the final filly is 163, Adulation, bought by Cheveley Park, 150,000. Acclamation filly. The name is not ringing any bells of success. I expect that she didn't have much success on the racetrack, but we'll see when she loads up. The Racing Post site is the only one that looks at particular sales catalogues, but it's very slow. I find it very frustrating. Okay, found her now. Now she's been sold by Cheveley Park, which obviously was no star on the track. As a 2-year-old, she was third on debut at Ripon. Went to Ascot, ran in the Queen Mary, 11th the Queen Mary. So she showed speed, then won at Catterick, and then kind of didn't get any better thereafter. And Cheveley Park have moved her on. 163, so where is she on the clock? The last 20 lots weren't recorded for whatever reason, so we haven't got a time for her. So we've got there a list of 12 fillies, and 2 of them turned out to be stakes performers. That's in terms of a strike rate. Most agents will take that. Obviously, it depends what you're paying for them, but that's not bad. That's not bad. So the Cravens, you know, done its job in terms of providing stakes fillies. Certainly from ones that made my list. So you could say I've got a 1 in 6 strike rate based on fillies.